All right, I wasn't even going to do the whole R. Kelly, surviving R. Kelly thing, but now that all these people keep coming out, I gotta speak on it. And I'm kind of glad I didn't do it at first. Because at first, I had the same reaction like pretty much everybody else had that watched it. R. Kelly's trash. He did this. How horrible. Why would people do work with him? Yada yada. But now, because so many people seem like they're just trying to jump on a bandwagon to, you know, save their name, they just keep going at him, and my whole opinion has flipped.
I admit I done made some mistakes, and I have some imperfect ways. That shit ain't right. How they gon' say I don't respect these women when all I've done is represent? Take my career and turn it upside down, cause you met I've got some girlfriends.
Tonight, his attorney, Stephen Greenberg, is speaking out to ABC News. Is there anything that you'd like to say on behalf of your client to set the record straight about, all of the allegations that are being made against him?
None of this is criminal. The state's attorney is on TV asking for people to come out of the woodwork and do what? Complain that he mistreated them a little bit here or there, or he talked to them improperly. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong. There are no underage victims. There are no sexual assault victims.
And that's the thing. I don't think people look at the fact that Lifetime did this. Lifetime did the same thing with Straight Outta Compton. They found one person who was a woman who could say, I was put through hell by men, which is kind of Lifetime's motto. They were Tyler Perry before Tyler Perry. They were Me Too movement before social media. Their agenda is kind of this. So it's how, and at some point, we got to realize that Lifetime almost fell off. They were making really bad movies and were hanging on by their teeth of 3 or 4 successful shows. So they were kind of reaching and with these documentary films, so to speak. So we got to pit. And then, how lucky could R. Kelly be that nobody really was able to go to the police besides that one case who apparently took money and said that it wasn't them. Again, you can't keep coming after somebody and all your only evidence is people saying that the evidence you do have is false.
Are no victims of domestic violence that they're going to find. It just didn't ever happen.
Earlier today, Lady Gaga became the latest high-profile artist to speak out against R. Kelly, writing on Twitter, I stand behind these women 1,000%. Believe them, know they are suffering and in pain, and feel strongly that their voices should be heard.
At one point she says, believe them, and then immediately follows it with know that they're suffering in pain. Believing and knowing are two different things. They're not synonymous. They're almost damn near the opposite within the way they work, but not by definition. And let's move on to the part where they get to her performance with him.
Taken seriously. I would fall apart if you... Gaga also addressed her 2013 collaboration with Kelly, Do What You Want With My Body, performed here on SNL. While the music video for the song was so controversial, it was never formally released, a 30-second clip was leaked to TMZ. At the time, Gaga defended working with Kelly.
Both R. Kelly and I have sometimes very untrue things written about us. So
why do you then believe the women? Why do you believe that he has things that are written about him that are untrue, but you believe them if you have no evidence to believe them other than a documentary made by an entertainment company that makes their money by making fictional films about the exact same thing?
Way, this was a bond between us.
A year after working with Kelly, Gaga revealed that she herself was a survivor of sexual assault and has now become an outspoken advocate.
I am myself a survivor. Tell me how the...
When did she admit this? When did she come out with her sexual assault? When she first got famous, a couple albums later, or after surviving R. Kelly? And why is it relevant? Because she all of a sudden is called out on working with R. Kelly? She didn't know about the tape before then. She didn't know about Aaliyah before then. None of these people who are coming out knew about R. Kelly before then. Nobody.
How could you know?
Performing her ballad Till It Happens to You for the documentary The Hunting Ground at the 2016 Oscars. By the emotional appearance of sexual assault survivors coming out of the shadows. Last year, at an event, Elle Women in Hollywood, Gaga revealed more about her pain.
After I was assaulted when I was 19, I changed forever.
Was she raped? Why is she using the word assaulted? Rape is specific. Assaulted isn't. Assaulted could not simply, but assaulted could be a guy smacking her on the ass when he walks past. That's legally assault. So why is she using the word assaulted as opposed to rape?
Part of me shut down for many years. I didn't tell anyone. I avoided it myself and felt shame even still today, standing in front of you. I feel shame for what happened to me.
The provocative song taking on a new level of controversy in light of the allegations against Kelly. Gaga is now apologizing. I'm sorry, both for my poor judgment when I was young and for not speaking out sooner. In her statement today, Gaga tried to explain her mindset.
Young? It was 5 years ago. What do you mean young? It wasn't 10 years ago. It was 5 years ago.
During the Kelly collaboration.
I think she's using young because his victims were young and is forcing you to make a connection.
Saying, as a victim of sexual assault myself, I made both the song and video at a dark time in my life. My intention was to create something extremely defiant and provocative because I was angry and still hadn't processed the trauma that had occurred in my own life.
That's exactly like the women in Surviving R. Kelly. My intentions were one thing. I did that, and now I changed my mind. Now I don't feel that way anymore. Now I'm hurt. Now I'm crying. Now I need someone to feel some sort of way for me on the back of this guy that we're all going to attack now.
The song is called Do What You Want With My Body. I think it's clear how explicitly twisted my thinking was at that time.
Doesn't all your music do that, even when you first came out? How are you going to solely point out that song?
Gaga now vowing to remove the song from iTunes and streaming platforms.
It's almost hard to think of people, big stars from the last 20-odd years that he hasn't worked with. Everyone from Jay-Z to Celine Dion to Justin Bieber to Mary J. Blige to Maxwell, to lots of others. He's had a lot of proteges as well.
Some now regret their decision. Chance the Rapper tweeted, I apologize to all of his survivors for working with him and for taking this long to speak out. And just today, the band Phoenix, who collaborated with Kelly and performed together at Coachella trying to be cool, tweeted, we regret that we were not both more informed and more discerning when we worked with him previously.
What is R. Kelly? There are so many parodies and memes about his pissing video. You cannot not know about any of it and work with R. Kelly. Maybe if you're 10, but if you're a teenager and up, you know R. Kelly peed on like a 14-year-old girl. You know that. So nobody misinformed you, just didn't care because you wanted a song.
According to Nielsen, music streaming numbers for R. Kelly have doubled since the docuseries aired.
His name is out there, and people are just like, wow, I haven't played R. Kelly in a while.
As for the collaboration with Gaga, which had risen to number 11 on iTunes, it's now been removed. A spokesperson for a label confirms that the song Do What You Want is in the process of being taken down from other streaming services.
Book what you think about him personally, because we're not talking about that. But what we are talking about, him as a writer, performer, artist, producer, people that he has brought their careers back to life. We talking about from the eyes, he's revamping, bringing back Mr. Biggs and Charlie Wilson, like we gonna be Uncle Charlie, and working on that album from Kelly Price to Michael Jackson, Madonna, Whitney Houston, Toni Braxton. The list goes on and on and on.
Relevance. You were on the documentary saying, fuck you, you're trash. What is the relevance of who he worked with?
The man is undeniable. But at the end of the day, he had to do all of that with that dark cloud. But what kept him focused and kept him going is I have to.
What made it a dark cloud now? Now that you're asking people to keep listening to his music, to fund you, why is it now a dark cloud and not just something that monster did? That y'all continuously said on that show. Why? It goes from his bad habits or whatever it is, his fantasies, to all of a sudden a dark cloud. Convenient.
Do this for my children to make sure that they are okay, because he could have.
You said he was a bad father and that he stopped paying child support.
Just went under a rock and hid, and shit been in shambles, and we be the fuck everywhere. But that didn't happen. So at the end of the day, I love him for that. I will always respect him for that, and he did it with grace. In the height of the storm.
You've been representing R. Kelly for
the complete opposite of what you said on the show. The whole total opposite.
For about a year. You say you spoke to him this morning. What was his reaction to that docuseries?
Well, he didn't watch the series. The series is trash TV. There's no reason to watch the series. It's a bunch of disgruntled people who are looking for their 15 minutes of TMZ fame.
So how would you characterize the allegations from multiple women, some who say they were involved with R. Kelly for years, and describe abuse sexually, emotionally, physical abuse? What do you make of those allegations?
Well, let's look at the allegations. Let's break them down. These were women who claimed that they were being...
Why do we have to care about allegations? We are at a point in time where allegations are basically facts, whether they're proven or not. Because and it's only with men and women, honestly. Because if I came out and said, well, I went to Chicago and R. Kelly molested me, how many people are going to give a fuck? How many people are going to care? So why is it that we have to take women's allegations and treat them like they're already proven facts?
Essentially held hostage. When they were no longer hostage, no one ever reported anything. During the time they were supposedly being held hostage, no one ever reported anything. They were out in public. No one ever reported anything. Since then, no one has said that they had to seek any kind of special psychological counseling or otherwise. So the allegations are just a bunch of people who are on the bandwagon. They were living a rock and roll life. They were living with a famous person. And when they weren't anymore, now they're disgruntled and they're trying to get back in the limelight.
Now let's think about something. The 33-year-old, the grown-ass woman who's really, according to R. Kelly, years old. So this old woman said that she was so, he did this, he did that. She was, mind control and brainwashed. And then she said, when I had enough, I packed up my shit and I left. How do you just snap out of being brainwashed and just pack up your shit and leave. And then you know that all these women are in there who you say are young girls, and he's abusing them the way he abused you. And you just casually left on your own will, freely, and didn't say anything. Why are we not holding her accountable as much as we're holding R. Kelly? Because she was going home safely and could have went to the cops and didn't. Why is nobody looking at that and asking any questions of why she didn't do anything to help?
So
there's just no merit to it.
Do you believe all of these women are lying? I mean, in this era of Me Too, we now know that a lot of people have not come forward about sexual assault or sexual misconduct allegations for years. Do you really believe that all of these women are looking for their 15 minutes of fame, as you put it?
I believe that all of these women did exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to be with Mr. Kelly. They were with Mr. Kelly. They were perfectly happy. They were perfectly consensual relationships. Whatever occurred, I'm not someone who should be judging, nor should any of us be judging someone else's personal relationship, what goes on in their bedroom. And now they're coming forward. I don't think that because it's the Me Too era, we should give any more credibility to these allegations. People have been making things up. People have been exaggerating. People have been making false accusations since the beginning of time. And because there's now some hashtag, that's not going to change.
Have you had any contact with the district attorney's offices that are...
That is a really good way to say it. So because something has a hashtag, it's taking more serious than, if it didn't. So literally, you take something, you put a hashtag behind it, and now all of a sudden it's a movement and now it's powerful. Hashtag mute R. Kelly. Now everybody wants to mute R. Kelly. Hashtag Me Too. Now everybody wants to say we must just assume a rape allegation is true.
Looking into alleged victims who say they've been sexually abused or physically abused by R. Kelly?
Well, I haven't heard from anyone. I haven't heard from a police department. I haven't heard from a prosecutor's office. I have never heard from an attorney for a victim or an alleged victim. I haven't heard from anyone because there's no facts to back up these claims.
What has R. Kelly's reaction been to this docuseries, which you say he hasn't seen, but he's obviously heard about it?
His reaction is that he's disappointed that these women are doing this, that these families are doing it. They're ruining a talented musician's career. When people wanted to be with R. Kelly, look at Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga in 2011, perfectly happy to sing a song with R. Kelly, perfectly happy to interact with him, and all of a sudden now she wants an Academy Award, and the du jour of the day is to diss R. Kelly, so now all of a sudden he's some terrible person. Nothing has changed. R. Kelly has been the same person all along.
Are you encouraging him to continue to book shows and sort of live his life as if none of this is happening?
Why wouldn't he?
I guess what advice are you giving him right now?
What's he supposed to? Well, I mean, I'm a criminal defense lawyer, and I have the greatest client in the world because I have a client who hasn't committed any crime. So I don't have a lot of work to do as a criminal defense lawyer. He should live his life. He shouldn't go let these people ruin his life. They're ruining his career already. Go live his life. Go enjoy himself. This week is his birthday. Celebrate his birthday and do what he's been doing for the past 30 years, which is living his life, playing his music, writing music, doing shows, going out, and nothing illegal.
What does R. Kelly want people to know who believe the women, and even as you mentioned, Lady Gaga, artists who are now distancing themselves from him because of this sort of reemergence? This isn't the first time that he's been accused.
Who's distancing themselves from him? Chance is an independent rapper that really, at this point, only gets features from DJ Khaled. Lady Gaga, until now, I haven't heard of her since she wore meat to some award show. Is Jay-Z distancing himself from him? Kanye? Lil Wayne? Anybody who doesn't benefit from distancing themselves away from him? distancing themselves away from him. It's a hard sentence.
Of sexual misconduct allegations. But what do you think R. Kelly wants people to know who do believe those women?
I think what he wants them to do is look at the facts. And where are the facts? Where is a single piece of evidence? All of us should.
In a docuseries, they said, one of the parents said that R. Kelly has cars that will pull up in front of his house, and a bunch of teenage girls will often just run out and run up in his car, something in that nature. So TMZ doesn't just park outside of his house and wait to take pictures, videos, interviews, none of that. No reporter who desperately needs a story sits somewhere in the R. Kelly vicinity of a studio, apartment, house, anywhere, and just looks for their time to shine and find some teenage girl walking in his house. Nobody ever goes out of the way to do this who could really benefit from a really hot story right now. Nobody.
I want to know, where is the evidence other than someone saying something? Where is any evidence? There isn't any, because he didn't do anything wrong. And that's what's so disappointing.
Just so I'm clear, did you watch all 6 hours of this docuseries?
I didn't watch 1 minute of it. I don't watch that kind of trash.
So you didn't see any of this, but you're convinced that all of these women are out here trying to get 15 minutes of fame and that they're not telling the truth. Is that what you're saying?
I have seen snippets of it. No, I've seen snippets of it. I've seen some of the interviews on it. I know who's behind it. I know the producer. You know, the producer never reached out to us and tried to get our take on things.
Well, throughout the docuseries, there were flashes of the fact that R. Kelly did not want to comment, that he denies ever having any non-consensual sexual relations with women. So, and that happened many times throughout it.
So let me ask.
But you're saying they never reached out to you? Are you saying Dream Hampton and those producers never reached out to you?
I never heard from them. That is correct. But if R. Kelly is saying, I never had non-consensual sex with any of these women, how is he supposed to prove that that's true? It's his word against their word.
Is he planning to talk or address the public himself?
Why are you believing them? Why are you believing them? Why don't you believe him? There's absolutely no evidence what they're saying is true. There's no evidence. Yet you're expecting him to produce evidence? The evidence is that no one went to the police, that no one sought any counseling, that no one came forward until these producers sought them out.
Is R. Kelly planning on giving any sort of news conference or addressing the public himself anytime soon? Has he thought about that?
Hopefully he will.
Do you think?
How is he going to benefit from holding a press conference? All it's going to do is make people say, well, he's lying. He literally has no benefit to acknowledge any of this. Him simply doing his shows, recording his tracks, whatever, is literally the only thing he can do. And just hopefully this will at some point go away.
He plans to address the public soon?
I'm sure he will. If nothing else, I'm sure he'll write a song. And it'll be a big hit.
Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Kels, man. And first of all, I want to apologize to all my fans in Chicago and basically all around the world, wherever